6:60 a.m. KBDT proudly presents Life Solutions, coaching, counseling, naturopathic medicine, insights for successful living, and getting better with Beal.
We are so glad you joined us. Last week we were talking about how to clean your room to feel better, to clean up your space, and how it's a great start to a successful life. If things feel out of control, one of the best things you can do is to clean your room, clean your space, clean your desk, clean something, right?
That's right.
And so we talked about cleaning just a space to feel more control and then moving out from there, and how trying to control the world can be overwhelming. Trying to control.
Some do try to do that.
Yes,
though.
they do. I am joined by Dr. Slaughter today. Welcome to the show, Jim.
Thank you, and really good to be here. Hello, everybody.
We have Ron Neitzel, the Green Wizard, today. He is going to help us bring fresh oxygen into our homes to purify the air of our homes. Are you there, Ron?
Oh, yeah, I'm here. You're looking
Hey.
good in that white shirt today.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad to know it's working because we can't see it. So if you'd like to watch the video, you can go to Getting Better with Beal on Facebook, and then we'll also download it to YouTube later. But we want you to know how to spruce up your home, bringing clean air plants in. And then also, Ron's also probably going to share a little bit about how the mask can, it's not a natural thing to have a mask over your face, and that can mess up our oxygen levels and carbon dioxide. So you breathing in carbon dioxide, it's not a good thing, is it, Ron?
No, it's not. It's not good for your lungs. It's not good for your heart. You know, it's when you have a lot of anxiety and you're hyperventilating. It's one thing to get the acidosis up, but it's another to live in a harmonious world and have that much excess carbon stuck in a mask that's not filtering out any of the stuff they're talking about today.
Well, and that's where it's just really important that you don't leave the mask on all the time. If you're by yourself, if you're in your car, if you're outside, take that mask off. Just use it if you go in a place where there's a lot of people closed in, or if they require you to walk in with it. But you got to take breaks. You got to lower it so you can breathe the air through your nose. I mean, you just got to get fresh air. We're not meant naturally to have our mouth covered with anything. And I think it's important to be aware that your body needs fresh air. In fact, one of the best things you can do for yourself is to breathe in fresh air. And so, Ron, when you have talked about plants that purify the air, those plants are actually getting rid of all those toxins in your home that we brought in, right?
Oh, yeah, they're filtering out tons and tons of different things, both in the soil, absorbing the carbons, and the plants themselves naturally ingesting what we're exhaling, filtering it out, and giving us back clean oxygen.
Now, your book, The Green Wizard, it mostly concentrates on helping your yard and your lawn and soil. I don't have the book with me today, but here's what the book looks like. I have a picture. And we have used that, and we just have mentioned to you many times how great our lawn is looking. Everything, even our landscaping, everything. We were kind of shocked, Ron. Not that we didn't think that you knew what you were doing, but we did not expect what we got this year just by... When did we start putting that stuff down, Jim?
It was shortly after the program last time when we
was
had
that?
Ron on.
I don't remember when it was.
I can't
but
remember
it was,
either, but...
It was in the...
It was about 4 weeks ago.
Yeah. Well, we also, the first time we had you on, we actually listened to you, Ron, and we went out and got the gluten and put it on our grass. And what else did we get?
Epsom salts,
and
gluten,
alfalfa,
alfalfa pellets.
Pellets, yes.
And the, what was it, not syrup, but the...
Yes.
Sprayed the...
What was the syrup?
Grade molasses.
Yeah,
Molasses,
molasses.
yes, we put that on too.
Yeah, molasses.
And so we did all that, right? We did all that last year.
It was it was longer than 4 weeks ago, though.
Yeah, it was last spring.
Gosh, it had to be, in the
summer.
spring.
Yeah, last spring we did that. We read through your book, it's such an easy read, Ron, and I really appreciate that. And then, of course, Marilyn, our friend who has the acres and has beautiful stuff all over her land, she actually washed her ground with her grass and everything with Dawn, like you suggested. And you said, wash it, let your grandkids play on it. And she did. She washed it. And she is stunned to get all those chemicals off. And so you really know how to get rid of toxins both on your land and in your house. So
we're recommending,
we have to get off the NPK system. And there's alternatives. Nature's given us alternatives. We've all just forgotten what they were.
Now, the NPK system is the spraying, you mean the pesticides?
Well, yeah, and that's all the glyphosates and that kind of stuff. But the NPK is something that they're telling us is the nitrogen, potassium, and the phosphorus that is required, and it's artificial. It's not required to give us the greenest, healthiest lawns because we're ignoring the soil. And what my book is how to pay attention to the soil more so than the actual vegetation, and the soil is giving the vegetation everything it needs. It's all there. We're blanketing it in these chemicals and in the glyphosates, which are toxifying the world. And by following the guide, we're just using the old methods and bringing everything back, and it brings back so much fresh air and so much oxygen, and the ground starts to absorb water again, and the worms come back, and everything starts to thrive, and the weeds naturally go away because the soil conditions go back to a 5.5 on the pH scale, and everything just goes back to nature and is beautiful.
Well,
and people are amazed how fast the system works with such little work.
I've been amazed.
Yeah, we used
amazed.
those ingredients for our lawn and lawn care and garden, and boy, Ron, the lawn's beautiful. And so nearly every time I walk out in the yard, I thank Ron Neitzel for all of his help.
Well, and it's so thick and luscious, and I think for us that's what surprises us. But everything is growing better, and then we water less. And
well, my question
what you had
would be,
told us.
Are you getting back to nature? Are you out there enjoying the grass barefoot?
We are all the time. Yes, we're out a lot. We love it. I'm not sure about Jim being barefoot. Are you going out barefoot?
Sometimes.
You have to understand, Ron, when I love barefoot. When we had some exchange students come from Spain, they thought it was so strange that people in America walk around barefoot because they never do that. They thought it was the oddest thing. And they saw me walking around barefoot in the grass, and they were like, wow.
Well, yeah, it's amazing. You connect with nature, you come to peace with yourself, and then you start to notice that the soils are getting softer. Your yard is getting softer. It's like walking on a pillow after a while.
Yes, it is.
And when I walk in the grass, I do walk barefoot. If I have to get on the hot concrete or I get on the rocky the slate patio that I put my sandals on, but I love walking barefoot in that grass. It's wonderful.
And it is really soft.
Wonderful. Yeah.
So the key was to get the soil deeper and softer, really soft.
Right.
For for how long?
Bring back your topsoil. Make it deeper.
Topsoil. And so
the transition point is then, you've got to start looking at, okay, now what about bringing all of that fresh air inside?
Right.
What about cleaning up inside? I mean, you were right, and I catch all the shows, and you were right. You get a peace of mind when you clean things up and you straighten up your room and you make your bed, and there's just peace of mind to that, and it kind of declutters. But what about the rest of the house? What about the air? What about everything else that you're opening the door and tracking in or letting in? We don't think about those things a lot of times, and that's where I look at this time of year and go, okay, this is that time. We're getting into AC season. We're getting into this. We're getting into that. We're in. We're out. It's time to change those air filters in our furnaces and stay ahead of this, especially with this virus now floating around. We've got to stay ahead of this stuff and get more oxygen in the house. What are you going to do in the winter? It's time to start looking at what plants can we actually bring in the house right now that we're still allowed to move around, and start increasing the oxygen and clearing the mind and getting ourselves to that 24-25% oxygen in the house like we should be.
I think that people don't really think too much about that the plants are cleaning the air outside. They're getting rid of the benzene and all of the toxins in the air outside. So by bringing them in, they're going to get rid of the toxins on the inside, the formaldehyde that we bring in, or the trichloroethylene, just anything like that we bring in. It's going to get that out. And so there are plants like the peace lily, and I know you have mentioned the peace lily that we actually, people gave us for the granddad at the funeral, and that has been the greatest plant. And I was looking through your list, and the peace lily is on there.
Yes.
I was like, we have one of those.
Yes, we do.
So for clearing the house.
Right. People don't think about that. We've kind of gotten away from that. We've gone to the sterile white atmosphere, and the sterile white walls, and the stainless steel, and the constant cleaning. Now with everything going on, we're actually cleaning too much. We're actually getting rid of some of the microbes and bacteria we actually need to be healthy. We can stop some of that and clean the air and not have to clean as much of our surfaces, because the plants are going to do it for us. If they're pulling it out of the air, it's not landing on our surfaces.
You know, Ron, some people have said, I just can't keep plants alive in the house, and I have a black thumb, not a green thumb. But, you know, as we were looking through this material and reading some of the things that you've talked about, we realized that there are a lot of plants that hardly need any care inside.
Yeah.
Right. The aloe vera plant.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's one of the easiest ones. It requires the least amount of care, least amount of water. It actually does pull water out of the air when it needs it in some cases. And, you know, if you ever get a cut or a slice or a little boo-boo or a burn, you know, aloe vera is one of the first things that you should go to before you even grab a Band-Aid, because it has different medicinal values in it. So having aloe veras growing around your house, not only is it going to clean the air and pull water from the air and help those things, it's also medicinal if there's ever a problem. So why wouldn't you have aloe veras growing around your house?
Yes, and when you find aloe vera plant at the store, it often has a red cross, green. This one has a green cross. We got this from Lowe's, this aloe vera plant. And it has natural treatment for sunburn, promotes the healing of cuts, scrapes, and sunburns. But I noticed it doesn't say anything about what it does to the air. And we looked that up because you know it does. Every plant helps get toxins out of the air. So I thought it was interesting that they didn't put that on there when they're trying to sell it, especially now.
Right, yeah, that would be a curiosity to me. I wouldn't understand why they wouldn't talk about its all of its promotive values.
Yeah, well, right now with people wanting to clean the air, I would thought they would be a big selling point. But aloe vera, actually, it says it's a healing aloe plant. It needs a sunny location. And most people, you'll see aloe vera, they'll have it in the window, like in the kitchen. Right. I notice that's where a lot of people put their aloe vera. But it also says it gets formaldehyde out of the air. Yes.
And a lot of these do, a lot of the different plants. But of course, you know, and then some of us have pets, so we have to be kind of cautious as to which plants we bring in the house. But a lot of these are also, you know, high comfort plants. They live in the temperatures that we like, where they wouldn't naturally be occurring in our area because of winter time. You know, we're bringing them indoors, and they're doing, like Christmas cactus, for instance. Oh. There's one that, you know, yeah, it's all piney. It really doesn't have this, that, or the other good for us, except that it is an oxygen producer and has little care. Just like the aloe vera, little care. It's a cactus. It sits there.
Little care. Yeah, it's a succulent. And it also says it gets rid of benzene found in varnishes, floor finishes, and detergents. Just right. Aloe vera does that. And so I think that a lot of people don't realize it wasn't just for cuts and burns. And so people don't get the plant. And instead they just go buy aloe vera at, like, the drugstore. But you can bring this in, and it's cleaning lots of things. And then you can also have it if you get a cut or scrape. But the whole point of the plant, more than anything, is to help you heal your whole body, not just a cut. All right. So, Ron, when you talk about the spider plant, I know you mentioned the spider plant. All these plants, when you bring them in, people can get them anywhere, just have regular nursery.
Yes.
And so I just recommend that you go get them. We went today to pick up some of the ones on your list so we could show them to our the people who are watching.
Yeah, we found a beautiful Dracaena that's right behind us here, if everybody can see that, and just a beautiful plant. And that's on most everybody's list for, as a good oxygen producer in the home.
So you could just go to a Lowe's or something like that, any nursery, and ask them for plants that are shade plants, of course, that you can bring inside that don't need a lot of watering.
Been listening to Dr. Wallach, and I bet you have some questions. We want to help. And here's how you can get the answers. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Write that number down and make the call right now.
Don't wait any longer to find out how Dr. Wallach's own all-natural nutritional supplements by Youngevity can help you. Are you concerned with reducing your risk of heart disease, cancer, stroke, or high blood pressure? Help is available. Do you have arthritis, sore joints, lower back pain, or fibromyalgia? Call now. Dr. Wallach creates his own formulation so you can be sure that what is on the label is actually in the bottle. Whatever your health challenge, make this call. Thousands like you have seen results for a happier, healthier life. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Call today, 800-214-0065. Are you suffering with arthritis or osteoporosis? Do you have diabetes? Did you know that these are just two of the hundreds of diseases that have seen improvement with Dr. Wallach's incredible Youngevity products? You can't get them at a health food store. The only way to get them is to call us at 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Do you have heart disease, fibromyalgia, or high blood pressure? Do you have a terrible time losing weight? Dr. Wallach can help. He was a veterinarian and cured diseases in animals. He felt that he could do the same for humans, so he became a physician. Over 50 years of research and helping people like you goes into every bottle of Dr. Wallach's amazing discoveries. Do you want to feel better? Learn how to treat the cause of your problem rather than covering up the symptoms with drugs. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. They say we're not getting any younger, but many thousands have felt younger after a few short months using Dr. Wallach's all-natural Youngevity nutritional supplements. How many times have you said one of these days I need to call Dr. Wallach and find out what I need? Well, make that day today. Here's how to get that information. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Write that number down and make the call. The information is free and there is no pressure. So do it now. That's 800-214-0065. If you face health challenges such as heart disease, arthritis, diabetes, fibromyalgia, depression, infertility, ADD or ADHD, high blood pressure, or one of hundreds of other diseases, help is available. All you have to do is make the call. You have nothing to lose but the pain and suffering. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065.
Focus on Valor with Jay Sefford.
Today we highlight Medal of Honor recipient William D. Swenson. In September 2009, Swenson was leading a column in the Ganjal Valley, Afghanistan. His mission was to connect with tribal leaders. They were ambushed and surrounded on three sides. For 6 hours, Swenson defended his position, coordinated air support, and repeatedly exposed himself to direct fire to rescue wounded comrades. Swenson responded to Taliban demands for surrender by throwing a hand grenade, an act of defiance that rallied his men who repelled the enemy advance. Aside from saving the lives of many of his soldiers, Swenson is believed to have saved more than a dozen Afghan lives. For his actions, he received the Medal of Honor. Swenson's courage has been in other areas, strongly and consistently criticizing the Army for its leadership failures. As a footnote, Major Swenson is only one of 2 Medal of Honor recipients who remain on active duty. Valor is a gift. Those who possess it don't always know until destiny calls, like it did for Major William D. Swenson.
It's getting better, a little better, all the time.
And now here's more Getting Better with Ann Beal on 1160 AM KBDT.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Jim, and we have Ron Neitzel, the Green Wizard, on with us today. We have appreciated your book, Ron, so much. We've used it, have our book in one hand, and the natural things that you recommend in the other hand to help with our lawn. And boy, it looks great, and we appreciate all the advice that you give. And that handbook that you've produced is just so helpful. So thank you so much, and thanks again for coming on.
Oh, appreciate it. And hello, everybody. Welcome back. You know, Ann has mentioned the list now. Should I go over the list while we have a few minutes?
That'd be great. You go right ahead.
Yep.
Okay, so we're talking about, all right, everybody get your pen and pencil out. So we're talking about Boston ferns. We're talking about an Areca palm plant. Again, the peace lily, beautiful plant, excellent for oxygen production. The snake plant, or like an ivy plant. We have the Gerber daisy, the neem tree. Now, neem oil, a lot of you have heard that, and that would be something you'd want to grow anyways, because you can use it as a pesticide, a safe pesticide around the house that will not harm your animals. We discussed the aloe vera, the Christmas cactus. How about another one for you chefs, which would be the basil plants?
Oh, yeah.
Is another huge oxygen producer, so you can grow those right on your kitchen counter. English ivy, the bamboo palm. Bamboo is another one you want to have around your yard to help, decrease the carbon in the air and put it back in the soil where it's needed. But growing the bamboo palm in the house, which is a shorter form of the bamboo tree or bamboo grass, which is what it actually is. There's the Chinese evergreen, the rubber plants, and of course there's always that favorite, the one we always want to avoid with cats because they love to chew on it, and that's the orchids. It's toxic for cats, and they love to chew on it anyways.
Huh. Okay. Remember that.
So the English ivy, when I saw that, I was pretty blown away by that because we have it outside, and it keeps trying to grow on our house. It's so beautiful in our landscaping, but we always end up pulling it off. I always tell him, God, the houses in Europe are so pretty, but the English ivy.
Right. It does have a deterioration factor, and in England you're dealing more so with a lot of the stone and brick houses and mortar houses that can handle it. Our houses today are mostly, slapped together drywall and sticks and 2x4s and aluminum siding, and it'll destroy one of those houses.
Yeah, and then they put
English
the brick on
ivy
the
is
outside.
one you want to keep down.
Yes.
And the solution is in the book. You don't have to pull it out. You can actually toxify it and go at it with just a little bit of the pest spray and knock those weeds down with just the hand spray.
But you mean the natural one?
Would
it be vinegar?
We were just discussing it. I was actually helping a neighbor reclaim their backyard today. And we were putting down the apple cider vinegar with a hint of table salt to start burning off the excess weeds and bring back the yard and reclaim the yard. And we were over there spraying this morning.
Well, that's good. The English ivy, when I read about it, it was interesting. It says it reduces airborne fecal particles, which make the perfect air. It's a perfect air purifier for your bathroom. And I thought that was interesting. It also combats mold levels in your home. If you kind of have a lot of humidity and mold, it helps keep it out. And I thought, wow, that's really cool. That might be, we're on the lake, so it might be one of the reasons we have it all around our house. We didn't plant it there. But I thought that's really great to know. And so you have to water some of these, and that's where it's good. Some of these we were reading, they don't need a lot of water. And other ones, it's good to keep them watered. So if you don't have a lot of time and you don't get to make, if you say you don't have a green thumb, then you want to get the lower watering plants, in my opinion.
Or you start to understand after reading my guide how the soil principles work.
Oh, yes.
And you actually find yourself applying those same soil principles to the indoor house plants, minus worms, and they store water more readily right out of air-conditioned air. So they actually help dehumidify the air and bring in the water they naturally need.
So when you say that, because that's what's happened to our yard and landscaping, we don't have to water it anywhere near as much as we did. How would you do that with a houseplant like our peace lily?
Because you're looking at the soil conditions, and you're looking at bringing organic matter, living organic matter, in with the soil and allowing that soil to becoming a living element.
So would I put gluten on that, or what would I put on that?
No, you would.
Alfalfa.
You would put a little bit of the molasses in there as you're mixing it up, and you put in a little bit of the alfalfa so that the organic matter has something to digest.
See,
and then, of course, the blooming minerals. You've got to have blooming minerals at the base of every one of our house plants to feed them all the minerals that they're looking for.
Yes, and the blooming minerals are wonderful. You can use them inside or outside, whether you have a small yard, big yard, or a little plant. You can find those at DocShop, DOCSHOP.youngevity.com, and just just search on the blooming minerals, and you can order them right there. So when we get back, we're going to go more into detail of how you can make your air beautiful.
In today's day and age,
Some clod hit your car, causing an ugly eyesore you can't ignore, but you don't want to have to take weeks making an insurance claim to get it fixed. Now what are you going to do? Drive around in a dented car? No! Call Eye Candy Auto Body. Eye Candy Auto Body will get rid of your scratches and dents without forcing you to use your car insurance. Finally, there's an affordable way to get rid of your sweet rides, door dings, bashed bumpers, scratches, and scrapes. Eye Candy Auto Body. Eye Candy specializes in perfect repairs for all high-end models and sports cars, but they'll fix all problems on all makes and models. No auto body job is too small. Eye Candy Auto Body promises factory perfect repairs every time. Fast completion's guaranteed on bumpers, body panels, and other paint-related repairs. Got dents? You need Eye Candy. Got dings? You need Eye Candy. Car insurance deductible out of range? You need Eye Candy. Got a teen driver? You really need Eye Candy Auto Body. Make your car perfect again. Call Melody and schedule your free estimate today. 214-924-0959. Eye Candy Auto Body, 1908 West Mockingbird Lane, Dallas. 214-924-0959.
Unique items for strange times. That's PatriotDepot.com. For instance, when you and your friend are playing your favorite drinking games via social media, while listening to Joe Biden babble about nothing, you can win in style with your Trump 45 bullet shot glass, and then cope with that hangover by pouring some coffee in your Trump camper mug. PatriotDepot.com is the place to find these and more. Remember promo code USA. They even have the Trump lawn gnome to keep you company. This is the site for all of your favorite MAGA merchandise. So many other exciting products are at PatriotDepot.com or call 844-377-8052 using the promo code USA for a great discount. That's 844-377-8052 or PatriotDepot.com. And don't forget the promo code USA.
How's your golf game? Meet Pat Wheeler, host of Texas Links on the Air.
The thing I love about golf, it's the discussions are never ending. You can talk about anything and it's interesting. The clothes, the courses, the instruction, the equipment, and the people who play, of course. The quote of the year so far, Dr. Lemack, he said, I'll be 110 days. I think I'll get a Hershey bar and go hit some balls. That's what we talk about on Texas Links on the Air. Don't miss it.
Texas Links on the Air, Saturday mornings at 8 on 1160 AM, KBDT.
I've got to admit, it's getting better, a little better, all the time.
If you'd like to get better, call Ann right now. 214-810-8255. 214-810-TALK. Now more with Ann Beal on 1160 AM, KBDT.
We want to do a couple of shout outs. One for Azel Pet Grooming.
Azel Pet Grooming.
We want to say hi to those guys. They've been so good to us. We also we saw Timothy Mahoney's The Red Sea Miracle 2 premiere last night, the movie. We saw the premiere, and it was very good. I don't know if it's out, if it's going to be out on, I don't know how they're going to bring it out. I know you can stream it now. It's available, and I'm sure it'll be out on DVD as well, but you can stream it on Amazon, I think. You can go to, if you I'm not sure exactly, but I do know you can go to patternsofevidence.com, which is Timothy Mahoney's website for the films, and you can download them right now. So the premiere came out early, so I don't know as far as when it's going to be out otherwise.
Eventually you'll have it on DVD, I'm sure, along with the first one. And it was excellent. It was really, really excellent, very informative, and he challenges the contemporary view of where the Exodus, not the Exodus, where the crossing, the Red Sea crossing took place. I thought it was really excellent.
Well, and I think it's a very valid thing to talk about right now, because one of the things that he talks about in all of these, the Moses controversy, the Exodus story, he actually is looking at all the archaeological evidence to show what really happened or what happened, and looking at the alphabet, how it was created. So he's coming from a very archaeological perspective. But what's interesting is when he talks to all these scholars and experts across the world, it's very clear that some are boxed in and their small view of God, that God works only through natural things and honestly kind of small natural things. And then you have the ones who believe big natural things like volcanoes or whatever that may have caused the plagues or whatever. And then you get people that believe in miracles, that truly believe God can work in miracles just by his power. And it's the same thing today with this COVID-19 coronavirus. If you have strong faith, then just by being smart and wise and doing smart things and being, God will protect you and just, but there are people who are so afraid. They're so afraid, and they're looking at their own ability to keep themselves safe and just severe. So a lot of it is what you believe in the world. Would you say, Dr. Slaughter?
Yeah, there's anti-supernatural presuppositions, and there are supernatural presuppositions. And the whole humanity tends to be divided into those two camps. Either you believe that God is powerful and the miracles are true, and you believe in the biblical record, or you don't. Mm-hmm. And depending on what you believe about that, then your view of what's happened in the world kind of centers around that.
Yes, and I think that's part of understanding what are you putting your faith in. If you're putting your faith in hand sanitizing and mask, well, that's fine. Just you want to read about it, right? You want to read about it and make sure that it's not blind faith. People talk about blind faith all the time and blame Christians for blind faith, and that's usually not what they have. But it's no different than believing in what Dr. Fauci says without checking it out and looking at the evidence behind it. Or the media, because they're contradicting themselves. And so we just encourage you to do the research yourself to find out how to keep yourself well. And that's part of what this show does. So adopting healthy living strategies is one of the best ways to keep your immune system well. Don't do things to harm it, like smoke. Inhaling smoke is not good, just like inhaling carbon dioxide all the time is not good. Eat a high...
I'm sorry.
So go ahead.
I have to interrupt because I have to breathe my smoke at my barbecue. I am sorry. I don't care.
You are barbecuing, I know. Do you breathe it? Do you
breathe
that smoke
right in? You're going to stick your face in there to look what's going on.
You love to smoke brisket, don't you?
And ribs, probably, and everything. Yeah.
But do you really?
Yeah. If I can fire up the barbecue, I'm going to do it again today because it's going to be 90, and I'm going to be out in the sun and in that smoke and just loving every minute of it.
Well, and I think, eating a, I don't even have to go into what a healthy diet is. I think people kind of know that. When you say don't eat all the junk, exercise regularly, try to maintain a healthy weight if you can, control your blood pressure, things like that. Not too much alcohol in moderation, getting sleep, and avoiding infection just in general by washing your hands frequently. And cooking your meats
back on
right.
The chocolate,
people. I have, Ron. I haven't had chocolate. I can't even believe it. I don't even know how long now. It's kind of a miracle, but I have. And that's one of the things that I'm not doing.
Is
I'm
that
not
one
having
of those
sugar.
Big miracles.
That's
or
a big
miracle.
It's a God miracle. It is, yes. But yeah, cooking your meat thoroughly. The chicken needs to be cooked more. All the way through.
But your beef needs to be medium rare.
Right. Well, yes,
rare.
I believe that. But, so basically one of the best things for your immune system is take care of yourself. Just all the basic things to do for yourself to keep it up. But then again, aside from that, Ron, what do you do to boost your immune system?
Oh, I stick with the Mighty 90.
Yes,
absolutely.
The Mighty 90, we do too.
I am
the
in
90
there with
minerals.
Longevity all the way.
Right.
Yes.
That's Longevity's primary product, and we
it's got all
use it all the time.
It's got all your minerals and vitamins and amino acids and probiotics and prebiotics, you name it, and it's the Healthy Start Pack. And again, you can get that at DocShop, DocShop.youngevity.com, and you can order the Healthy Start Pack. Or you can at least just get the BTT, which is the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, which has almost all of those. It doesn't have all 90, but it's close. And so by boosting your immune system, you stay well. And that's what we do every day.
And I've always, I've said ever since the COVID thing got big that, the best thing I can do for myself and everybody else can do for themselves is to maintain a healthy immune system.
Yes, you want your immune system.
I think that will carry me through.
Yes. So if all you know about immune system so far is vitamin D and zinc, that's good. That's good. Okay. But there are lots of other ones you need to stay safe.
Right. Well, prior to the doctorate system, and not to knock what's going on there, but they were handing out quinine and zinc to protect the cells to begin with.
Right.
This was something they were doing prior to crossing the United States and gathering all the territories to make this country. Quinine and zinc have always been there. Why it disappeared off the shelves, why we forgot about it, is anybody's question. 3 ounces. I think it's 3 ounces of quinine and 50 milligrams of zinc, and you're protecting your cells from these attacking viruses.
Right.
And I'm not somebody that says go out and be purified and be purelled every time I touch the garden soils, because there are bacteria and there are things in the soils that are actually good for us. Getting back to nature's good for us. But then there are some that you don't want to be messing with, and I'm not going to go roll around in a bunch of horse manure. I'm sorry. There's just some things in there I don't want to mess with.
That's good.
We've had our turn at that.
Yes. Well, and I'm not going to keep preaching, but if we go on to some other plants, what about the money plant, Ron?
The little money tree?
The little money tree.
Yeah, it's a nice little oxygen producer, but it's not going to produce like the list that I just rattled off.
Yes.
I mean, everything that grows green is producing oxygen. Please, everybody understand that. Weeds aren't the enemy. They are actually performing another function for Mother Nature, but they're still green. They're still producing oxygen. That's why I say we don't need to kill off the weeds. We just need to stop the flowers and the seeding and stop the seeds from producing, and the weed will naturally go away. There's quicker ways to handle that in the soils, but again, the more green we have around, and I'm not saying go out and have a rock garden and paint all the rocks green. They're not going to produce oxygen. I'm sorry, it just doesn't work.
I don't know.
That doesn't work? Oh, my gosh.
Maybe somebody would have done that. Now, you mentioned the Gabera daisy, and we were reading out the Barberton daisy. That is, and because I really wanted to bring color into the home, and so many flowers need sun. And this Barberton daisy says it actually gets rid of the toxins and synthetic fibers. And so they're very beautiful. They look a lot like the Garbera. Is that what you call them, Garbera? But the Barberton,
the
Gerber daisy.
I had trouble today though finding the Barberton daisies, so I thought maybe I would order them. I did think that the snake plant, it was very interesting that they also
That's also
called
the mother-in-law's tongue, right?
They called it the
I
mother-in-law's
saw that.
tongue. I thought, well, that's just wrong right there.
Well, it just depends on the mother-in-law, I guess.
Right, I guess it does. It actually has a numbing effect on the tongue if you should happen to eat it.
Well, then that should be the mother-in-law plant. Here, come on in.
I think that's why they call it.
This goes in your salad first.
The Erica palm or Areca palm. I like the look of that plant, and I think it would make a beautiful spot in a home. And it
Aren't they
also
beautiful?
They're wonderful, and they give off tons of oxygen from what I hear.
And they release, they take in carbon dioxide, of course, and they release oxygen just like we do. I thought that was kind of cool. And I don't know if all plants do that, but it says it removes dangerous chemicals such as formaldehyde, xylene, and toluene. Toluene? Toluene, whatever that is.
Right, and a lot of your older houses, 60, 70, 80 years old, are going to have some of these agents in them.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are still being found in even though they're not allowed to be, they're being found in some of the cleaning chemicals we're using today. And we've got to pay closer attention to that, because we're actually, as we're purifying our houses and cleaning things up, we're actually putting toxic chemicals down that are dangerous. We don't want to be using toluene, which we used to use on a lot of plastics when we were building window frames and what have you. That's one of the things that we use to clean the glass of the materials and clean the plastics at the same time. It works on both both surfaces the same, but it's also a toxic chemical to us on a continual basis to breathe it.
Yep.
And you got to watch what's in some of these chemicals.
Well, and I know that by putting, a lot of people use dryer sheets, and they don't realize how many toxins are on those dryer sheets, how toxic they are, and how many, and depending on what they use for their laundry detergent. So I had someone who had a Chinese evergreen they kept in their laundry room because it cleaned out those toxins that are on those dryer sheets and in the laundry detergent. She was trying to do her best to get rid of those. And so people don't realize that Glade air fresheners, those ones you plug in, I guess they're Glade, I don't know, they're all different kinds, but those ones that you plug in, they're very toxic as well. And so it's better to use essential oils in your air. It's better to have, soy candles or things like that that don't have those toxins in them instead of using these air fresheners. And even, as you know, the air freshener that works better than anything, what is it called? The one that it works great. And it instead actually just changes your ability to smell. What is that one? The one everyone loves. I can't think of what it's called. Do you know what I'm talking about, Ron?
No, yeah, I'm drawing a blank.
I'll think of it.
Oh, everybody uses it. They advertise it on TV. It does get rid of smells like crazy, but it's not good for you. And so I would, you want to get toxins out of your home as much as you can. So you would, my suggestion is get away from trying to bring in fake smells. Febreze. Yeah, I didn't say that, did I? Okay. Yeah, that's the one. You want to get in natural things, and that's where bringing the plants in, and even the essential oils are plants. It's plants, and they've squeezed the oils out of them, or herbs, things like that.
Right.
And so I would say as much as you can, go to natural. But you want to filter the air. And I think right now what a lot of people do, and I've seen a lot of people do this, in fact, we even did this with one of our plants this time. They have their inside plants, and then when it's springtime, they put them all outside, or they put them in a sunroom, right, away from their house. But it's better to keep them in your house right now and just put them near the windows if they need light, right?
Right.
Yeah. And
somewhere in a sunny or sun-getting room, or a southern-facing room. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because again, a lot of these plants, and you'd have to watch them on time lapse. They actually move to the sun. They actually follow the sun in the window.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And you don't want to put some of these plants directly in sunlight. You want them to actually be moving naturally, because they are alive. They need to stretch and move and strengthen themselves as they do so. And that's where you look at your soils, because if the plant is moving, that means that it's actually going to be using calcium to move and to strengthen its own root base and its own stems. So you're going to want more calcium in your soils.
Yes. Well, and I think it's cool with the plants that the more plants you have in there, if you happen to bring some kind of toxin or virus or something like that into your house, not only do you have the plants to get it out, we want to talk about those air filtering systems, like your filters that are in your air conditioner. Now, Ryan, I know you know about that, and we need to talk about those when we come back. So people can change those out and get the they're kind of expensive to get the really good ones, but it's one of the things you can do to filter the air, right?
Absolutely. Your HEPA filters and your water-based filtration systems, absolutely.
Yes.
Excellent for your houses.
So we want to talk about that when we come back. And then other things that you can do to just really brighten up your home to feel better, to bring color in, anything like that. Now, we also suggest you be able to go outside, okay? And we're going to talk about that too. So stay right here. We want you to keep getting better.
Are you suffering with arthritis or osteoporosis? Do you have diabetes? Did you know that these are just two of the hundreds of diseases that have seen improvement with Dr. Wallach's incredible longevity products? You can't get them at a health food store. The only way to get them is to call us at 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Do you have heart disease, fibromyalgia, or high blood pressure? Do you have a terrible time losing weight? Dr. Wallach can help. He was a veterinarian and cured diseases in animals. He felt that he could do the same for humans, so he became a physician. Over 50 years of research and helping people like you goes into every bottle of Dr. Wallach's amazing discoveries. Do you want to feel better? Learn how to treat the cause of your problem rather than covering up the symptoms with drugs. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. They say we're not getting any younger, but many thousands have felt younger after a few short months using Dr. Wallach's all-natural longevity nutritional supplements. How many times have you said one of these days I need to call Dr. Wallach and find out what I need? Well, make that day today. Here's how to get that information. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Write that number down and make the call. The information is free and there is no pressure. So do it now. That's 800-214-0065. If you face health challenges such as heart disease, arthritis, diabetes, fibromyalgia, depression, infertility, ADD or ADHD, high blood pressure, or one of hundreds of other diseases, help is available. All you have to do is make the call. You have nothing to lose but the pain and suffering. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. You've been listening to Dr. Wallach, and I bet you have some questions. We want to help. And here's how you can get the answers. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Write that number down and make the call right now. Don't wait any longer to find out how Dr. Wallach's own all-natural nutritional supplements by Longevity can help you. Are you concerned with reducing your risk of heart disease, cancer, stroke, or high blood pressure? Help is available. Do you have arthritis, sore joints, lower back pain, or fibromyalgia? Call now. Dr. Wallach creates his own formulation so you can be sure that what is on the label is actually in the bottle. Whatever your health challenge, make this call. Thousands like you have seen results for a happier, healthier life. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Call today. 800-214-0065.
Are you looking for senior care for your mom or dad but don't know where to start? Hi, I'm Joan London with The Place for Mom. Nobody knows your parent or loved one better than you, and nobody knows senior living better than the experts at A Place for Mom. They've helped thousands of families find the right place for their mom or dad.
I was so glad that I called A Place for Mom. My advisor really listened and was truly my partner in finding senior care for my dad. She went out of her way to get to know him as a person and was always there whenever I had a question.
The senior living advisors at A Place for Mom partner with thousands of families every month, listening and offering local knowledge and advice to help find the best senior living communities across the country. And it's a free service. Here's the number.
Call A Place for Mom at 1-800-370-2715.
There's a place for answers, a place for mom. Call today.
Call A Place for Mom at 1-800-370-2715. That's 1-800-370-2715.
To admit it's getting better, a little better all the time.
You're getting better all the time. Now back to Ann Beal on 1160 AM KBDT.
So when we talk about getting healthy air in your homes, I need you guys to check out your filters. One of the best ways to keep your air conditioner bill down is to change your filters often. They say every 3 months. What do you think, Ron?
Yeah, it depends on the amount of activity in the home. It depends on your pets. If you've got more cats than dogs, you're going to want to change that a little bit more often because of their natural coat. Their natural hair falls out more often. There's a little more dander. Mm-hmm. That's why so many people have allergies to cats. They shed more so than what a lot of the dogs do. So depending on your populace in the house, yeah, you want to stay, especially with what we've got going on with COVID, you want to stay in your charcoals and your HEPA filters right now and stay ahead of the game. As your filter is clogging up, though, that's what's causing a lot of air conditioners to break down. They can't draw enough air in fast enough to dehumidify the coils fast enough. So you really want to stay ahead of it when you get a lot of people in the house and you have pets. You need to stay ahead of that filter and run the better filters. The cleaner they are, the less the bill is. Now, there are a few interesting ones that have come out that are washable. So you can actually just change them out and wash the next one and have it drying, waiting to do the next change.
Do you think those are as good or better? What do you think?
I would think they're actually better because you're staying ahead of it more so. You're doing it once a month, once every couple of weeks as you're washing the filters out.
Yeah, and you could do it whenever you're worried. We have a lot of people that are worried about the air in their home and that they're bringing stuff in and they don't want UPS or FedEx or anyone to come. They're just so afraid of getting in anything in their house. And so they can purify it themselves and bring in air purifying systems even. We have one air purifying system. So we have a friend that came up with an air purifying system for companies and all that, and all these companies are buying them. He's making a bundle because it really does into the air conditioning system. But at least you could buy the smaller ones and put them in there. But one of the best ways is to now they have different levels of these filters that you can buy for your homes. And most people, they don't really care when they go, oh, really, I don't want to spend all that money. But, they have the allergy ones, but they even have I know here in the U.S., I haven't seen the MERV ones, okay? Because I know in China they came out with the MERV ones to protect you from viruses. And so we don't have those. I don't know what exactly they have those, what are in those. But I found that fascinating. But we have the very high ones. Go ahead.
If the scientific studies are showing that they're ahead of us as far as the amount of cases, then obviously these MERV filters are working. So they're doing something right.
Yeah. Oh, in China,
so
you mean?
We should be staying ahead of the game and looking at it ourselves and researching the information ourselves and getting them.
Yeah, that's the thing. All they're talking about is masks. Everybody has to wear masks. You got to wear a mask. I'm thinking that is the most ridiculous thing. And you know what? I mean, when you've seen these masks tested, which you have, and you've even posted those some on your Facebook page and things like that, when you can go on YouTube and different people are testing their mask and putting in oxygen. These are all people that usually work for OSHA. And they're actually testing these masks to see what the oxygen, how low the oxygen level goes down. And your oxygen level is supposed to be at least 21 or 20.5 when you're breathing. Right. And it shows that quickly these go down to 19, 18, 17. And so the alarms are going off, the OSHA alarms are going off. And they're saying that right now.
The bandanas are the worst.
Yes, and they're saying as this is happening and they're going down different levels, they're saying, okay, now you should be getting headaches. You'll be getting headaches. You'll be getting this. You'll be getting that. And so they take you through the symptoms that you're going to get if you wear a mask, these certain masks. And then they have another OSHA machine that shows the carbon dioxide levels going up. And it showed with different masks, they go up. They were at 6,000, 8,000, 10,000, and all the alarms are going off. And so a mask is okay. You don't want somebody to cough on you or sneeze on you. Yes, okay. That's why we want you to build your immune system. But that's all that actually is going to protect you from it. Then that mask has stuff on it, and you want to get rid of it, in my opinion.
Yeah, you bring it back into the house and put it in the drawer someplace, and you've brought a bunch of toxins in your house.
But in general, just the particles are too small to protect you in a mask, and it's doing so much damage to you. But definitely, if you do that, you want to increase all the oxygen levels around you, especially in your home.
Fix your yards, fix your homes, bring the plants in, get a healthier yard, get off the NPK system, and let's get healthy, everybody.
Let's get healthy. So next week we're going to have Alexis Duncan on. She is a sharpshooter. By the way, the state champion trap shooter. It's an incredible. She's going to talk to us about the ladies in the shooting sports and letting us know about all the license and all the different kinds of shooting. All righty. We look forward to having her. We're going to help you just keep getting better. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week right here at 12 p.m. on 1160 a.m. or BigDTalk.com.